Hi everybody. In case this is the first video that you're watching for the Winter Festival audition coming up in January, my name is Ross Winter. I'm a violin professor at University of Central Florida in Orlando. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the excerpt by John Rutter from his Suite for Strings. In case, again, this is the first one and maybe you haven't watched the Elgar yet, if you already have the music, you've probably noticed that there aren't too many markings in there. So I have marked up parts with my own fingerings that you can download to practice along with this video. So if you'd like to do that now, you just need to visit my website, which is www.rmwstudio.com. Under the Learn tab will be a drop-down menu, and that's where you can download the marked excerpts under 2021 Winter Festival Orchestra. So go ahead and take a minute to do that now. Pause the video and come right back. Okay, so again, the first thing that we should talk about is the tempo of this. It is pretty sprightly and bright and should be pretty quick. However, especially for an audition, make sure that you never try and perform it in an audition faster than you can play it super cleanly. So the tempo I suggest is around, for a quarter note, about 126 to 132. Now that doesn't mean if you can't get it up to that tempo yet, no problem. If you can do it at about 120 super clean, that's how you should do it for an audition, okay? So at the very beginning, notice I have started us in second position because I don't like that F, that lonely F natural all on the E string. So if we start in second position and then shift down to first, it's going to take that one super bright note away. Now what you're also going to notice as we go on, I actually try and not do shifting to different positions when we don't have to in this piece in particular. I like to keep simple, straightforward playing and staying in position as much as we can. Even if that causes us a couple of little issues with string crossings later, we're just going to practice a little extra hard for those. For example, measure 153. I didn't mark this in the part because you might want to end up doing something different. But for 153, if we're staying in first position for this whole thing, we've got that one lonely note on the G string. Now maybe you're going to choose to do 4 for that. And then you're going to end up staying on the G string for 1 millisecond longer, but that might actually help to clean up the string crossings. This is going to be what you want to focus on for this whole passage of slurred 16th notes. Really focusing on your string crossings, small motions leading with the hand instead of too much of that, okay? Now, I should have mentioned the bow stroke at the very beginning for the first 6 bars or so. In this instance, we're not going to try and really press into the string for these 16th notes, but we're not going to play a true spiccato either. Just a very bright and lively stroke on the string. Something like that. Okay, now let's skip ahead to 1, the cambrio. This is quite different. Now he starts putting the lines on the 16th notes. We're going to take really good advantage of that and here actually play very in the string. Okay, now notice I'm doing it about here, upper middle. Maybe it's even more comfortable, we should try it, starting in the lower middle so we don't actually leave that middle vicinity. And then it's actually less work. So when you're practicing, find which one sounds best for you. Where it definitely probably won't sound best, frog and super at the tip. Then it makes our string crossings have to do a lot of acrobatic work with our right arm that we want to avoid. Okay, at J. More chords. At least these we have open strings and makes it a little bit easier. Still, with all the down bows, it's going to feel very easy to start hacking at this. So we're not even going to try and press anything into the instrument, especially in the open strings. We're just going to set the bow on and pull over with a fast but short bow. I'm not trying to use the whole thing. And always resetting. The next measure we'll have to do down, up, down. Notice I did down, down in the beginning as it says in the part, but the second bar will have an up bow for the 8th note. Then the following 4 chords, which also have open G, let's think that we just barely touched that string so that we don't end up really pushing and gushing down on the bottom string. That's it. Okay? Then when we get to K, same idea as in the Elgar. If you've already seen it, we're not going to play the octaves here. For an audition, you're only going to play the top notes. Okay? Big, beautiful. He writes cantabile. Really, really luxurious playing in the right hand. Super, super, super connected. So notice I went from from 3rd to 5th. Then the fingering that's in the part is a finger exchange. So from that same D that I've been playing with 2, I'm exchanging it with 1 so that these pickups to the high A are in the same position, but then I have to extend to the high A. We have to know exactly how far it is from F sharp to A. That's an extra half step I'm having to put in my finger from F sharp, for example, to G sharp, the whole step, and then an extra half step. Now I've really measured a true minor third. Uh-oh, but now I'm going to play that G with my actual 3rd finger. Half step shift. Okay, I've ended up in 6th position. I'm going to stay there. That's why I specifically wrote A string, so it doesn't look like a shift. Another finger exchange to 1. So now I'm in 7th position, staying there until I have to shift. A shift back into 7th position for the octave. Easy. So that whole thing at K sounds like. That's it. Okay? Now. Oh, that was only half of K. I'll play the rest of it. All right, so now we get to the allargando where we're going to slow down just a little bit for 4 bars. Another half step shift. Just to F sharp. And we stay in position, which is where we'll be for half of L in 6th position. These will play lower half of the bow. Pretty heavy brush, we'll say. Then when we get to the 16th notes, it's so fast, we're just going to try and kind of keep it on the string. That's it. The very end, when we have this big sweeping scales all the way to the top, notice where I'm having a shift. I put these shifts before the sextuplet at the very end. Oop, I think that bowing was backwards. Yes, because it'll end on an up bow. I put the shift before that because those are fast notes and we want them to be clean, so we probably don't want to shift through them if we can help it, and we sure can help it. So first shift, next shift, A string, 5th position, then we stay. Again, sorry, I think my bow is backwards, but that is the idea. In fast motion. Oh, no, I'm right. It does end down. Sorry. Good. So, but in terms of shifting, That should make it a little bit cleaner. Then at the very end, we will do a double stop of 2 and open. Very lower half. And since we're already in the lower half and the frog is so heavy, we don't have to press. We want it to be a nice sound even though we're playing unisons. All right? The last chord. Now, this is going to be something you'll have to make up on your own or with your teacher. When you play it in the orchestra, the bowing will have been determined. But sometimes we may want to do a fast 2 bows on that D before the last note, or a bow, or probably not the last one, because notice we've got that crescendo through the long D, and if we do a retake, it's going to chop it off. So what I would suggest are actually 2 bows, just trying to sneak it in as fast as you can. Okay, so that's just a really fast, quick tutorial on the Rutter Suite for Strings excerpt. Good luck with this audition. Again, if you have any questions for me, you can send me an email anytime. I'm happy to hear from you, and good luck.